exposing our teacher candidates to variety, I think is invaluable, because they're not only being able to see what they know, because they are college students, and they are preparing to get out of college and make some money to pay back their student loans, and to get into a field that they feel that they're going to be good at. But they have no idea really what they're entering into. So by giving them field experiences and engaging them civically, you're kind of killing two birds with one stone, so that once they do get out into the classroom, they then begin to use those same kinds of skills to engage their students into their communities. Because one of the things we know about any kind of education is that the more connected kids feel, the more they're going to maintain their learning. They're going to hold on to the knowledge that they gain. So there's all kinds of ways that we've come up with to give our students an exposure to those cultures that are very different than their own. So not only are they learning about the urban environment in Chester, but they're also learning about a place that's thousands of miles away, and the children that live there are very different than the children that live there. Their needs are different, their cultures are different. The difference between what our teacher candidates may come to expect coming into a classroom and what they're faced with is a different culture. So the urban children of Chester may have different needs than the children, or their own experiences of classrooms as they grew up in the suburbs. And their experiences in Chester are different because the needs of the children are different. And so you may have children who are coming out of poverty, you may have children who are coming out of single-parent homes, you may have children who are experiencing some sort of deficit that they're not familiar with. And so what we need to do is prepare them to be ready to deal with problems that are different than the problems that they're familiar with. And that's the whole premise upon which, I want my students to be exposed to these new kinds of contexts. Another form of field experience that we use is Earth Force. That's the one that I highlighted in the book. Earth Force is a wonderful program. It's a national program, and they come in and they work with teachers and students, and they come in and they actually have the students identify a local environmental problem that they'd like to find out about and solve. And then the children go out. So it takes them from the beginning, where they identify the problem, to possible solutions, to actually trying to solve the problem. Our students then work alongside of them to investigate those same kind of things. And hopefully then when they go into the classroom, they'll be able to replicate those same kinds of service-oriented community engagement activities that keep everybody interested, because it's about us. It's about where we live and what we do. What you're doing is you're exposing them to things that they would not normally be exposed to. So as I said, for instance, when they get these real live experience with real live activities, when the children are, scooping organisms out of a pond, or if they're walking along and being able to see, these kids are just, they're shocked, they're excited, they're fearful, but they see a deer in the woods and they're not sure how the deer is going to behave. They're afraid. Some of them are very afraid. Some of them are, they're like the deer in headlights, like, whoa, that's a big animal over there. And, I've taken kids to the beach that have never been to the beach. And when they first got there, nobody would take their shoes off. These children have never been to the beach. And you start talking about seashells and oceans and waves, and you have to know that these children have no idea what it is you're referring to. I had a kid come up to me with a clamshell and said, "What kind of rock is this?" Not because of intellectual capacity, because of no exposure. And so the more we give children of these kinds of differently advantaged, different kinds of contexts, they're the kind of things that both our teacher candidates and our children will benefit from, because it opens the world up. So it just opens the world up. As a teacher educator, I need to make sure that my students are aware of what that cultural context is that they're walking into. And it's not just about knowing the content, but it's about knowing the children with whom they're working. And the way they do that is through some of these civic engagement activities.